Okay, so welcome everybody. Lovely to see you for a new year. Yeah, I just said to Tracy, I haven't really got a strong theme, except I thought new year, a bit of a detox, and just coming back to ourselves after what might have been a busy time, certainly has for me. So that's our kind of theme this evening: centering and detoxifying. And so we'll do some twisting. We'll definitely do some twisting. So let's just start with a bit of a centering practice. So just get yourself comfortable, seated, and just enjoy a process of just consciously coming to stillness. So we can consciously close the eyes. Welcome, Bernie. Welcome, Linda. We'll just wait for Linda and Bernie to get settled. You're just in time. We're just getting going. Lovely to see you. Happy New Year. Okay, so we're just starting by becoming still and consciously turning our awareness inwards. So get seated, get comfortable, close the eyes, and just do any fidgeting you need to do. Maybe just move the spine forwards and backwards or side to side until you find the place where there's least effort for the spine to rest in its neutral curves. And just let the hands rest wherever's comfortable, on the lap and the knees. Just see how closely we can move towards stillness. We're never going to be totally still. Just feel your body settle. Feel your breath settle. Maybe feel your mind settle, maybe not. Just do a few little checks, tension busting checks. Just check that the jaw is relaxed, check there's a gap between the teeth. Check your shoulders are relaxed. Maybe if you're not sure, just bring them up to the ears, press them back and down. Just let them release down. Just be in stillness for a moment. Even if the mind is frantic, busy, just let the body become still. Well, just before we start to move, we'll just do a little visualization that really brings us into our body. We're just going to scan the body. Just follow my instructions of where to place your awareness. So keeping the eyes closed, just take your awareness to the crown of the head, just above the crown of the head, and just noticing any sensations. Maybe with the act of focusing there, you feel a tingling, a buzzing, prickly, cool or hot. And we're just going to gradually slide our awareness down our body, taking in the front and the back and the interior of the body. So just gently and slowly sliding your awareness down past the forehead, through the forehead, the back of the upper skull and the brain, down to the bridge of the nose, taking in the eyebrows, the eyes, mid skull at the back, interior, down to the tip of the nose, and the cheeks and the ears, sliding down the back of the skull, the face, upper lip, earlobes, temples, lower lip, to the chin, and the back of the lowest part of the skull, and down the neck, taking in the front and the back of the neck, the sides of the neck, the interior of the neck with your awareness, down to the shoulders, tips of the shoulders. And we'll just do the arms separately. So just let your awareness slide down your arms, the biceps, the upper arms, triceps, down to the elbows. Sliding the awareness down the forearms, front and back, to the wrists, Feeling the sensations as you go to the hands, the palms, the backs of the hands, maybe feeling a tingling, a buzzing in the palms as you pass your awareness over, down the fingers and the thumb, to the tips of the fingertips and the tips of the thumb. And coming back up to the shoulders, we're going to continue that sliding of our awareness down the torso now, taking in the front and the back, so feeling the collarbones on the front of the body, the upper chest, the upper back, feeling the shoulder blades, feeling the spine and the interior between as we move down the chest, to the mid-back, feeling the rib cage, sternum, maybe feeling the lungs, down towards the belly button on the front, feeling the sides of the body, the mid-back, everything in between, digestive tract, stomach, liver, diaphragm, down to the lower belly, the lowest part of the back, the sacrum, feeling the spine in between, moving to the groins, noticing sensation, and the buttocks, and maybe feeling the reproductive organs in between, the pelvic floor, and then moving down the legs, the thighs, the front of the thighs, the back of the thighs, to the knees, and then the lower legs, the shins, the calves, all the way down, sweeping our awareness down to the ankles and noticing sensation. And then finally to the feet, top of the feet, soles of the feet, noticing any tingling that your awareness evokes all the way down the toes, the tips of the toes. And just let your awareness kind of travel down into the earth, as if you've kind of drained energy out of the body, excess energy, into the earth. Feel earth, feel your whole body. And just for a few moments, feel the totality of your body, all the parts we just visited, noticing any sensation, tingling, buzzing, heat, prickling, cool, from the crown of the head, to the tips of the toes. And feel yourself in space, kind of taking up your space in the rest of space. Just for a moment, just feel yourself almost floating. We're super grounded, super embodied, but almost floating in space. Feel the space that your body takes up in space. And then just become aware of your breath. Start to deepen the breath. Really deep inhales and exhales, breathing through the nose, bringing energy, fresh energy. It's like we've drained out the excess, stagnant energy, breathing in the new. Beautiful. And then in your own time, just gently blinking the eyes open again. Back. Just how you feel. And then you'll start to move. And when you're ready, put your fingertips to the floor, either side. And we'll just kind of awaken the body gently. So just inhale, stretch the hands up, interlace the fingers, push the palms up, drop the tailbone down, drop the shoulders down away from the ears. Try not to lose that hopefully lovely calm embodied feel from the visualization, but really stay with full breaths now, energizing breaths. And then we're going to twist a lot today, so coming straight into our first twist. Right hand onto left knee, left hand behind, looking over the left shoulder, gently drawing the navel in, keeping those legs and groins relaxed. Deep breaths. Out with the old, in with the new with each breath. the end of your next exhale, unwind the spine, come back to the center. And the fingertips on the floor again. Inhale again, sweep the hands up, interlace, other little finger on the outside if you can work that out. Stretch the palms up, drop the tailbone down, drawing the lower belly in, gently connecting to your pelvic floor. Breathe deep, energizing, revitalizing breaths here. Fill the rib cage with breath as you inhale. And then on your next exhale, twisting the other way, left hand to right thigh or right knee, right hand behind, looking over the shoulder. Deep breaths. At the end of your next exhale, unwind, coming back to the center. And just bring the hands behind you, lean back into the hands. My fingertips are facing forward, but you can choose. And just arch the spine, lift the chest. And you can look up slightly, but don't throw the head all the way back. You can either keep the chin all the way in or slightly lift the chin. And just really energize and open the chest with your breath. Feel the collarbones widening, the rib cage muscles cranking open with the inhale, stretching the skin of the chest. Slowly coming back up. And a side stretch. So again, inhale, raising the hands. Palms touch. Exhale, left hand down, right hand reaching over. Breathing into the right side of the body. So really stretch and open the torso in each shape with your breath. This in itself is detoxifying. Each breath can be detoxifying. Breathing in fresh oxygen, prana. Breathing out carbon dioxide. And anything else that body no longer needs or we no longer need. Inhale, coming up. Exhale here. We'll come in the same way. Inhale, stretch the hands up, palms touch. Exhale, right hand down, left hand leaning over. Press through the right hand a little bit to keep left buttock on the floor. So we're grounded. We always stay grounded through our anchor points, in this case, pelvis, the legs. And again, detoxifying, big breaths into the left side body. It's like we're washing ourselves clean with each breath. And then inhale back up to the center. Exhaling here. And we'll meet on hands and knees. And when you're ready, find your way. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees under the hips. Start to move the spine. Again, very detoxifying into cat-cow. So inhale, lift the tailbone, drop the belly, look up. Exhale, tailbone under, stretch and open the space between the shoulder blades, chin to chest. And try to make sure you use the eye muscles as well. You really look up at the top of the inhale and really look down the tip of the nose at the end of the exhale. Our eye muscles can get very sluggish and weak, including the eyes, but starting each breath or each movement with the tailbone, finishing with the crown of the head and the eye. Moving with the breath. And then at the end of your next exhale, return to neutral. I'm going to come into another twist. So from here, we're going to lean into the left hand, which is underneath or slightly in front of the left shoulder, and inhale, reach the right hand up. We're just going to pause for 2 or 3 breaths here, pressing down through the left hand, reaching up through the right fingertips. Breathe as deeply as you can, the thoracic spine twist. And then as you exhale next, feed your right hand underneath the left arm, bringing the side of the head down to the floor, or if it doesn't reach the floor, onto a block. And you can stay here, you can reach the left arm forward, or you can inhale, take the left arm up and wrap it around to find your right hip crease. Take some nice deep breaths. If you feel very stable, you can explore stepping your left foot out to the side. If it feels tricky to do so now you're in the posture, just skip this, but If you wish, you can step the left foot out to the side, so your right fingertips are somewhere reaching towards your left foot, with the toes pointing forward. If you're not sure what I mean, or it feels challenging to move now, just stay where you are, still getting the spinal twist. Breathing deep. And from here, you can release the left hand down. If you raise the left hand, you can press through the hands to come back and slide that left knee back in if you extended the left foot out to the side. And just come back to tabletop and take another cat-cow. So just so you can see, because it might have been difficult to see depending where your head was, what I was instructing is, so we're down like this, and then there's an option to stretch the leg out to the side. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about now. So we'll do the same on the other side, leaning into your right hand, inhale, stretch the left hand up, and just find the connection between root to rise here, press down actively through the right hand to reach up through the left fingertips. Breathing into the space between the shoulder blades, the space behind the heart. That's what's really opening here. And then exhale to sweep that left arm underneath the right arm, palm facing up. Feed it as far through as possible. Bring the left side of the head to the floor or a block. And then choose what to do with your left hand. You can either keep it where it is, reach it forward, or inhale up. Exhale, wrap. You can stay here, or connect your core to help you transition to take the right leg out to the side with the toes pointing forward. Optional. Can be quite a strong inner thigh stretch, but it can just feel quite yummy as well. Listen to your body. Don't do anything that feels too challenging. Dance your edge. If you've wrapped the right arm, draw the right shoulder blade back. And at the end of your next exhale, you can release the right hand down. If you wrapped it, pressing through the hand to bring yourself back, sliding the right knee in. Again, just take a little cat-cow here, just to re-center, neutralize the spine. And then we're going to take a child's pose with a wide knee, and we'll add another twist. So first of all, just straight child's pose. Big toes touch, knees about mat distance apart. Sink the hips back onto the heels, and just keep the hands forward for a moment, dropping the forehead to the floor. Use a block under the forehead, just leave the floor. And it's very similar to what we just did, but now working much more with the hips. So press through the hands to just lift the elbows off the floor. And we'll feed the left arm underneath the right arm first with the palm facing up. So very similar to what we just did. Letting the left side of the head release onto the floor. You can keep the right hand out in front up on the fingertips, like I'm showing here. Or as before, you can wrap the fingertips around. So the upper body's in a very similar shape, but a whole different sensation in the lower body, lower back, hips, inner thighs. Breathe deep. There's a lovely opening behind the left shoulder blade in this posture and the one before. So really breathe into the space behind the heart here on this side. Especially if you really feed that left arm through as far as it will go, that really opens the space behind the left shoulder blade. Couple more slow, deep breaths. And then at the end of your next exhale, if you wrapped the right arm, release it. Press through, just stay low. Come back to the kind of central position. And then when you're ready, just feed the right arm as far through to the left, underneath the left arm, and then bring the left side of the head down to the floor. So it's like your body weight is increasing that stretch around the outer right arm and into the space behind the right shoulder blade. Maybe wrapping the left arm around you or stretching it out in front. Again, see if you can notice an opening behind the right shoulder blade in this case. Breathe into that. Quite difficult to get into that area, so this is great opportunity to breathe in the new, breathe out the old. There's usually a lot of stagnant, stuck energy beneath our shoulder blades. Breathe it out. And breathe in fresh prana, fresh oxygen, fresh blood flow to that area. And anywhere else you're feeling this. And then at the end of your next exhale, bring that left hand back down. Stay low, come back to the center. Just return to that neutral child's pose for a moment, arms outstretched in front of you. 2 or 3 more breaths. And then you can walk the hands back in. Bring yourself back up to tabletop, bringing those knees back underneath the hips. I'm going to come to downward dog. So tucking the toes, lifting the hips, stretching those hips up and back, bending the knees however you need here. Maybe having a little walk out to stretch the toe joints and the hips. That feels good. Or just straight into the posture if you prefer. Moving your way into stillness here, or dynamic stillness, spreading the toes, letting the heels descend, spreading the fingertips, plugging the hands in, connecting to your core, your lower belly, pelvic floor. Deep breaths, detoxifying breaths. So we're going to have a go at a twist. If you want to bring the knees down, you can do a variation on your knees as well. So we're going to bring the left hand to the center of the mat, and we're going to reach the right hand back to the outside of the left leg. So it might be above the knee, it might be below the knee. If you're more open, it might even be the ankle or foot. If this is all too much, bring the knees down and just reach for your left knee and get a little bit of a twist. Okay, so looking underneath the left shoulder blade, press through that left hand. Ground down through both feet. And then we're going to swap sides. So release that right hand, come back, bring the right hand to the center of the mat. Reach the left hand back to the outside of the right leg, above or below the knee or around the ankle. Press actively through the right hand to really activate the arm, elongate the arm and the right side of the back. Look underneath your right armpit. Ground down through both heels. Can be a strong posture, I know. Bring the knees down if you need. And then release the left hand, bring it back. Just return to downward dog for a moment. Take one more breath. And then at the end of the exhale, look forward, walk, step or jump the feet to the hands. Stay in a forward fold. So we've got feet parallel underneath the hips. Knees can be as bent as we like, holding the opposite elbow or dangling the arms here. Your voice or holding the feet. Take some breaths in your standing forward fold. Relax the neck and the jaw. But actively press the feet down. All 4 corners of the feet. Draw the lower belly up towards the spine, lift on the pelvic floor. And then bring the hands to the hips, bend the knees. Really sink the knees quite low, sink the hips quite low, and then stretch the arms out in front, parallel to the floor. So just a little bit of a thigh burner, helps with the detox to build a little bit of heat. Draw that lower belly in, reach forward through the fingertips. 2 more breaths if you can. Last breath, well done. And then inhale, straighten up, stretch up high. Exhale, bring the hands down to the sides. We're going to come forward again and put a twist in. Sorry, my head's off the screen. I'll be with you again in a moment. So hands on the hips. We're going to inhale, look up. Actually, before we come down, you might want to block in front of you because we're going to twist. And if you know the floor's far away, use something to bring the floor closer. Or we could just bend the knees. Okay, so hands on the hips. Inhale, look up, opening that chest, and exhale, take that forward fold again. And just bring the hands down towards the floor or your block. So Feel free to bend the knees as much as you need. We're going to take the right hand underneath the face. So it could be on the block on any of its 3 heights. And then we're going to take the left hand onto the lower back. And draw the left shoulder back and look up over our left shoulder up towards the ceiling. And we want to press down through the right hand to draw, to feel the deepening of the twist as we do that. Maybe we stretch the left fingertips up towards the ceiling. Again, breathe into the space between the shoulder blades, one more breath. And then exhale, release that left hand down. We're going to swap sides. So left hand is now underneath the face, right hand on the lower back. Draw the right shoulder back first, looking up. Press the left hand down. Remember, use the block on any of its heights. And then maybe reach the right hands up towards the ceiling. And looking up. If it feels too constricted in the shoulder, right shoulder, just keep the right hand on the lower back. Breathe. I really feel this behind my left shoulder blade. Again, use the opportunity. One more breath. And then exhale. Release that right hand down. Inhale, just look up for a moment. Walk the feet out to about the mat distance apart. Probably toes turned out for most of us. Or toes parallel if possible. And sink the hips down into Malasana squat. Coming down into our deep squat here. And heels can be lifted. If possible, bring the palms together or fingertips on the floor. Lift out of the lower back. Real goddess posture. Love this posture. Maybe close the eyes. Now you're welcome to stay, and if you need to come out at any point, just sit yourself down and join in when you're ready. If you want to add a twist again, we're going to take the left arm out beyond the left foot and reach the right hand up. So my left upper arm is in front of my left knee. My left upper arm is kind of pushing the left knee back almost. That's it. And look up. Yeah, you got it. Anyone that's super open here might want to take a bind, wrapping the arms around the left. Optional. And exhale, release, come down through the center, and we'll go to the other side. So remember, your right arm's in front of the right knee, fingertips out beyond the foot. Inhale, reach up through the left fingertips. There's a bit of a twist here. Looking up. Maybe some of us might take a bind. Don't force that. And then release that left hand down. We're going to come back up to a forward fold. So it's like a rocking forward, and then strong legs. Press through the feet, lift the hips up, walk the feet in till they're hip distance apart. Just take one more forward fold, just again holding the elbows or letting the arms down. But we're not going to stay too long. And then bring the hands to the hips, bend the knees, strong legs. Legs are probably feeling that sequence. Coming back up to standing. And come to stand at the front of your mat. So we will do a little bit of a flow, and we'll add some twists in. Okay, so standing at the front of the mat, find your Tadasana. Feel the feet grounded on the floor, feel the tailbone dropping, crown of the head lifting, fingertips drawing down towards the floor, lower belly drawing in, thighs strong. Connect your breath. Recenter before we move. And then when your inhale comes, use it to raise the hands and look up. Exhale, take a forward fold, dropping the head. Inhale, look up, lengthen your spine. Exhale, we're going to step the left foot back and just stay on the ball of the left foot. Okay, so we're just going to do various twisting sequences. If you need blocks, have blocks under the hands. Otherwise, just establish this low lunge. Your right knee is above the right ankle. And then we're going to twist. So from here, your left hand comes underneath the left shoulder or on a block. Right hand onto the right hip or up to the ceiling, looking up. Very strong in the back leg, squeezing that left buttock. And then exhale, release the right hand down to the outside of the right foot and try not to move the hips too much. Just lift the left hand up or left hand onto the left hip and look up the other way. Use a block underneath the right hand if you need. Exhale, release the left hand down, and then you've got a choice. You can come back to downward dog or child's pose, or come through the vinyasa, coming to plank or tabletop, exhaling to lower down. Inhale, upward dog, exhale, downward dog. So optional little sequences here, otherwise you meet us on the other side or in downward dog for the other side. Taking a couple of breaths or 2 or 3 nice slow deep breaths in either tabletop, downward dog or child's pose. Is our kind of neutralizing posture. And then at the end of your exhale, look forward and step the left foot forward between the hands. Keep on the ball of the right foot, left knee is above ankle. Establish this low lunge posture for a moment, strong in that back leg. And then we take our twist. So right hand underneath the right shoulder or on a block. Reach the left hand up, or if it's too much, left hand on left hip, drawing the left shoulder back. Okay, so or raise the hand. Keep that back leg strong. Thigh lifting away from the floor. Draw the lower belly away from the left thigh. Exhale to release the left hand down to the outside of the left foot. Use a block if you need. And just raise the right hand, trying to keep the hips more or less square to the floor. So we're just twisting in the upper back. So the right hip bone points down, not out to the right. Breathe into the space between the shoulder blades. Exhale, release the right hand down. Look forward. We're going to inhale, step the right foot to join the left and look up. Exhale, drop the head towards the shin. Inhale, raise the hands, reach and stretch, look up. Exhale, hands to the side. Okay. Round number 2, leading with the left this time. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, forward fold, drop the head. Inhale, look up and lengthen. This time, step the right foot back first, and we're going to bring the right knee to the floor. So different variation each time. Come onto the top of the right foot, sink the hips low. Stay with the fingertips on the floor if you prefer, or inhale, raise the hands for Anjaneyasana. Looking up to your thumbs or forward if that's tricky. Breathe into the front body, the front of the right hip. Exhale into a twist. Right elbow, palms together. Right elbow to the outside of the left knee, or right hand to the outside of the left knee with the left hand reaching back, as I'm showing here. So choose what's best for you. If it's the elbow, your palms pressed together. One more breath. And at the end of the exhale, turn to the front, plant the hands, tuck the back toe under, and again, go straight to downward dog, tabletop or child's pose, or scoot the left foot back to join the right foot. Plank, inhaling there, exhaling to lower down. Inhale, back bend, looking up. Exhale, downward dog. Pausing in downward dog, tabletop, child's pose, slow, deep breaths between sides. Feel your body waking up, cranking itself open with the breath, with the asanas, enlivening. And at the end of your next exhale, look forward and step or come onto the knees and bring with your hand that right foot forward. Lower the left knee down to the floor, hips can sink forward, so right knee can be in front of the ankle. Stay there, or inhale, sweep the hands up. Looking up to the thumbs, squeezing that invisible block between the thighs, having some kind of integrity in the lower body here, our foundations, drawing the lower belly in, dropping the tailbone so we don't just dump in the lower back. We're actively extending through the fingertips, extending the spine, creating space in the lower back as much as we can in the backbone. And exhale into your twist, left elbow or left hand to the outside of the right thigh, just above the knee. If it's the hand, your right hand reaches back. If it's the elbow, palms press, looking over the right shoulder either way. Breathing as deeply as you can in the twist. And at the end of your next exhale, turn to the front, plant the hands, step the back toe under. We're going to inhale, step the left foot to join the right and look up. Exhale, forward fold into the shins. Inhale, raise the hands up, palms touch, looking up. Exhale, hands to the sides. Take a moment. We've got one more round like this. Inhale, raise the hands, look up. Exhale, forward fold. Drop the head. Inhale, look up and lengthen. Exhale. We've got to do 2 more rounds. Step the left foot back, stay on the ball of the foot. So we're in that low lunge again, right knee above right ankle, but this time we're going to inhale, come up to the high lunge. So reaching the hands up, bit of a tricky transition, very strong in the back leg, squeeze the left buttock. If the balance is good, look up, otherwise look forward. Establish high lunge. And then exhale into the twist. So again, it could be your left hand, reaching the right hand back, or it could be left elbow, pressing the palms together, looking over your right shoulder. Keep very strong in the back leg. If you need to bring the back knee down, do. It's tricky balance. Don't worry if you wobble, that's really normal. Okay, to come out, we're going to inhale, sweep back up to the high lunge first, and then exhale, take the hands down. And then from here, you can choose again, downward dog, child's pose, tabletop, or you can move through the plank, exhaling down to Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale to upward dog, exhale, downward dog, Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Looking back towards the feet, relax the neck. Breathe deep in your chosen neutralizing position here. Breathe into the back. And then at the end of your exhale, look forward. We're going to step the left foot forward between the hands, stay on the ball of the back foot, firm the back leg as you inhale, find your way up to the high lunge. Can be a tricky transition that. Again, don't worry if you wobble, but then really switch on that back leg and feel kind of bouncy in your legs, like you could bounce off the ball of the right foot if you had to, squeezing the buttock. And then from our high lunge, maybe you're looking up, maybe you're looking forward, we're going to come into our twist. So right hand to the outside of left thigh, or right elbow to the outside of left thigh, palms together. Your choice. We can always bring that back knee down if we need. These are strong postures. Breathe through them. Working the legs, the hips, lots of lunges, really good for bringing fresh energy into that area. And again, to come out, we're going to inhale back to the high lunge, stretching the arms up. Exhale, bring the hands down. And then you choose child's pose, downward dog. Or again, if you're feeling it, the vinyasa, exhaling down. Inhaling upward dog. Exhaling downward dog. And we meet in child's pose or downward dog, tabletop. Taking some breaths. Recentering, and we come to these postures between sides, reconnect your breath, your bandhas, your foundations. And then from here, we're going to look forward, walk, step, or jump the feet to the hands. Inhale, look up. Exhale, fold. Rest through the feet. Inhale, raise the hands up. And exhale, hands down. And just for symmetry, we're going to have to do one more round. I'm just turning my heater on, so very hot in here. We're going to have to do one more round. So I'll make it nice and mellow. Just bear with me a moment, just take some breaths in Tadasana. Okay. So last round. Okay, leading with the left leg from Tadasana. Inhale, raise the hands, looking up. Exhale, forward fold. Dropping the head. Inhale, look up. Exhale, step the right foot back and spin the back foot. So right toes are in front of the heel. And then from here, we're going to come into Parsvakonasana first. So bring your left elbow onto the left thigh or your left fingertips to the floor or a block on the outside of the left foot. And bring your right arm up and over, palm facing the floor. So we get that lovely side body stretch here. Parsvakonasana. Looking up to your right hand. And then we're going to change it into another twist. So turn to face the floor, plant the hands and bring the right knee down. We're coming into a variation of Paraviti Parsvakonasana. So bring yourself up into what I call the right angle position. So the torso is upright. We've got right hip above knee, left knee above left ankle, left hand on hip. Inhale, stretch up through the right side. Exhale, bring your right hand or your right elbow to the outside of the left thigh. If it's the elbow, palms together, all the same as before. Really press the elbow against the thigh and resist with the thigh. Stay here. So it's another variation of the same twist we've been doing. Or tuck the back toe under, lift the knee without lifting the hips, and we revisit the high lunge twist we just did, but coming in a different way. Couple more breaths if you can. And then at the end of your next exhale, plant the hands. Again, vinyasa if you wish, or take a child's pose or a downward dog. If you're vinyasing, move with the breath. Back to downward dog. Relax the neck, look back to the feet. And then at the end of your exhale, look forward, step the right foot between the hands and spin the back toe. Coming into Parsvakonasana on the right side. So again, you've either got right elbow on the thigh or right fingertips on the floor behind the little toe or on a block. Left upper arm comes up and over, palm facing the floor. And we find that straight line or that long line between the left little toe edge and the left fingertips. And we're looking up to the left hand to open the chest up towards the ceiling. Breathing, another lovely side opener, also detoxifying. And then exhale, look down to the floor, planting the hands, bring the left knee down, so you have to come onto the ball of the foot, lower the left knee, bring the torso up and just get yourself into everything in right angles. And then we take right hand onto the hip, inhale, stretch up through the left side, exhale, left hand. If it's the left hand to the outside of the right thigh, then the right arm's reaching back. If it's the left elbow, we're pressing the palms together, looking back. Either way, we're pressing the hand or the elbow into the right thigh and pushing back with the right thigh. This will deepen the twist. Stay here, or see if you can tuck the back toe under, lift the back knee, but without lifting the hips. And return to the high lunge twist. I often find it a deeper twist coming into it this way. Breathe as deeply as you can. And at the end of your exhale, release the hands to the floor. And again, you can vinyasa if you want one last time, or you can come straight back to downward dog, your choice. We all meet in downward dog or child's pose if you're opting for child's pose this evening, no problem. And just take some nice neutralizing breath. We've worked hard, we've done a lot of vinyasa flow. And recenter, come back to your breath. Come back to your hands, feet, foundation. And at the end of your next exhale, look forward, walk, step or jump, feet to the hands. Inhale, look up. Exhale, fold. Press through the feet as you inhale to raise the hands, looking up. Exhale, come back to Tadasana. And we're just going to pause and breathe here for a moment. Maybe you want to bring the palms together at the center of the chest. Maybe more classic Tadasana, hands by the side, but maybe just close the eyes for a minute and breathe that through. A lot of movement, a lot of twisting. Just notice the effects on the body. Notice the effects on your breath, your heart rate. Recenter. A few more breaths here, like we did at the start. See how closer you can come towards stillness, even with the eyes closed. How quickly can we come back to our center after dynamic movement? Coming back to calm, to peace. Welcoming in, inviting in calm and peace and centeredness. Okay, so we'll keep this feeling of centeredness and we'll just come into a balance. So you can release the hands to the side if you're in Anjali Mudra. We'll just come into the tree, my favorite, the classic. So bring your left hand onto your left hip. And when you're ready, pick up the right foot. Or if you can't pick up that ankle, just slide the foot up the inner left leg and bring it into position. It's going to be pressing into the inner thigh or the inner calf, not the inner knee joint. And bring the hands to the center of the chest. That centered feeling. Inhale, stretch the arms up above the head. Or keep them where they are at the chest if that's better. Exhale, release the hands just wider than the shoulders. So we're reaching up through the fingertips, but the shoulders are drawing downwards. Find a steady gaze. You can rest your awareness in your lower belly. This is our center, sacral area. Drawing that lower belly in towards the spine. Lift on the pelvic floor. Steady breath. And if we wobble, at least keep the mind steady. Let the mind be thrown out. Inhale, bring the hands together above the head. Exhale, bring the hands down through the center line of the body to the chest. Inhaling here. Exhale, release that right foot down, release the hands to the sides. Just take a moment between sides. Check your internal dialogue if you're wobbly today. No negative dialogue. All is well, all is perfect. Same on the other side. Right hand on right hip. If you can, pick up that left ankle, place it on the inner right thigh or calf, above or below the knee, or slide the foot up the inner thigh, inner leg. Palms to the center of the chest. Find your steady gaze, your drishti on the floor, something that's not moving. So probably not the screen, because I'm wobbling a bit today. So just find a nice steady gaze. Inhale, raise the hands above the head. If you wish to go further, exhale, Vrikasana, bringing the fingertips just wider than the shoulders. So we're reaching up to the light through the fingertips with the shoulder blades drawing down the spine. We're rooting down through the right foot. Connect to your center, your deep core, the lower belly, pelvic floor. And relax the mind. Untether the mind from expectation. Inhale, bring the hands together above the head. Exhale down the center line of the body to the chest. Inhale here. Exhale, feet down, hands by the sides, back to Tadasana. Recenter. Beautiful. Okay. We'll come down to the floor, do a little bit more seated twisting. If you are done with the vinyasa, meet us on the floor. If you've got one more in you, come to stand at the front of the mat. Inhale, take the hands up. Exhale, fold, drop the head. Inhale, look up. Exhale, just straight to downward dog this time. Take a couple of breaths in downward dog. And then just look forward, walk, jump the feet forwards, cross the ankles, sit yourself down and arrive on your mat. Just gonna change the angle. Okay. So let's just start with a simple forward fold to begin with, and then we'll get into some twists. So sit yourself up on a block if you wish, straighten the legs out in front of you. Find the centering posture of Dandasana before we move. So fingertips by the hips, drawing the shoulders back and down. It's like we're pressing down through the backs of the legs and the heels and the pelvic floor. And we're lifting up through the spine, drawing the chin in slightly, scooping that lower belly in and up, lifting on the pelvic floor. Feet active, legs active. So just like downward dog, just like Tadasana, this is another neutralizing centering posture. And then from here, inhale, stretch the arms up. Exhale, forward fold, hinging from the hips. So bend the knees if you need, and then we take hold of whatever the hands find. Inhale again, open the chest, and then exhale, drop the head. Come into a nice long hold here. Great way to center, come inwards as forward folds. Navel gazing. Slow, deep breaths. Relax the shoulders and upper back, relax the jaw. At the end of your next exhale, slowly coming up. And we're going to do probably my favorite detoxifying seated sequence. So keep your left leg outstretched and bring the sole of your right foot to your inner left thigh. So we will go forward, but then we're going to focus on the twist. So we'll just briefly go forwards into Janu Shirshasana. So inhale, stretch up again, and exhale, return to that forward fold. Inhaling to lengthen, exhaling, dropping the head. We'll just take a few breaths here. Keep both feet flexed. Relax the upper back. At the end of the exhale, coming up, inhale, looking up, exhale, coming all the way up. We're going to twist, so we'll do the closed twist first. So bring your right hand to the outside of the left leg, left hand behind you. Some of you, it might be above the knee, some below the knee. If you're quite open, it might even be the little toe edge of the foot. But there's a sense of extension and lift through the spine. Left hand's on the floor behind you, or maybe, if it feels stable, using the left hand to reach all the way around for the right thigh. And we look over the left shoulder. We draw the belly in. Difficult to breathe fully in this closed twist, but we do the best we can. And at the end of your next exhale, unwind, come back to the center. Make sure at the center you take a nice deep inhale, and then exhale to come into the other side. So now we take the open twist, left hand to the inside of the left leg, maybe the big toe edge of the foot, above the knee, below the knee, right hand behind you, or right hand reaching around for the left thigh. Some of you might find the left thigh with the fingertips. Drawing that right shoulder back a little bit more. Keep both feet flexed, draw that lower belly in. Again, there's a sense of extension and lift through the spine. Very nice, everybody. Breathing as deeply as we can. It should feel more free with the breath this side. Use that. And then at the end of your next exhale, unwind the spine, come back to face the center. Again, it's good to take a breath with the neutral spine. And then we're going to take the right hand back to the middle of the mat, the fingertips pointing behind, maybe 10-20 centimeters. Lean into the right hand, press through the right hand, press through the left heel, and lift the hips and reach the left hand back. So nothing moves, we just lift the hips, that's it. And you can keep it quite a side twist, or if you want to make it a little bit more of a front opener, look up to the ceiling, feel like you're lifting the chest up towards the ceiling a little bit. It will feel more like a back bend. Exhale, lower the hips using your right hand to control that descent down. Bring yourself back to face that left leg. Okay, so we're going to finish. It's a very detoxifying opening sequence with a Parivriti Janu Shirshasana. You can keep the legs where they are, but there is an option if some of you want to. It's just a slightly deeper stretch, I suppose, to bring the right foot behind, making sure you're on the top of the foot and the sole of the foot's pointing up, and you're not sitting on that right heel. You're on the inside of the right heel, and you've still got a 90-degree angle between the legs. Okay. So wider, Miriam, with the thighs. It's the same. That's it. It's the same. If you're in the Janu Shirshasana and you look down, there's this 90-degree angle. If you're going to change your leg position, you want to keep that angle, but your foot's just gone to the other side of your leg. That's it, Miriam. So in any doubt, stay with Janu Shirshasana. Okay, it's much more intense, potentially not. And then left hand onto the left shin, or if you know you're very open, left elbow inside the left knee, palm faces up, hold the big toe edge. Draw the right shoulder back, lift the left rib cage up, press the right rib cage back and look up. Stretch the right hand, first of all, up to the ceiling. If you're more open, we start to go forwards towards the left foot. But what we're focusing on more than anything is keeping the chest open to the ceiling. So as soon as we start to close down, then we've gone too far. So keep that sense of revolving, paravritti. If you're very open, if the left elbow is on or close to the floor, your right hand might come all the way and find the left foot. And then it's actually quite nice. You've got a purchase point from which to twist a little bit more. Don't force. Good. One more breath. Very opening for the intercostal muscles. Breathe into the rib cage. To come out, look down to the floor. Let that right hand descend to the floor. And then just gently bring yourself back in and up. And just take a big breath here. It's very freeing for the breath, the rib cage. And we'll swap sides. So stretch your right leg out, flexing both feet. Your right toes are pointing up to the ceiling. Your left foot's flexed too. So we start by going forward. So inhale to stretch the arms up. Exhale, forward fold into Janu Shirshasana. Hands meet the legs or the ankle or whatever they find. Dropping the head, relaxing the back and the shoulders. Keeping the right foot active though, the right leg active, and the left foot active. Keep your face relaxed, breathe into the back of the body. What I love about this sequence is it stretches and opens all the different parts of the torso, the back, the side, the front. Very freeing for our breath, which in itself is detoxifying. The more we can breathe fully, the more we can detoxify with each breath. At the end of your next exhale, slowly bring yourself back up. Starting with the closed twist. So again, we inhale and then we exhale into the twist. So the exhale, we bring the left hand to the outside of the right leg, above or below the knee, maybe the little toe. Right hand on the floor behind you or reaching around for the left thigh. And then lifting up through the spine, looking over the right shoulder, keeping both feet actively flexed. Connecting to your pelvic floor. Breathe as deeply as you can. Challenge the breath here into the closed shape. To fill the body with as much space as possible, even here. At the end of your next exhale, unwind the spine back to face forward. Take, when you're ready, taking a nice big inhale and then exhale to bring the right hand to the inside of the right leg or maybe the big toe, left hand behind or reaching all the way around for the right thigh. Looking over the left shoulder. Much more easy to breathe fully here. Really expand and open the front body and the back body with the breath. Like we're wringing the spine out like a flannel. Stimulating the intervertebral discs with fresh blood, fresh oxygen, fresh prana, lumping them up. Exhale to unwind. Nice to take that big inhale because it's like we've squeezed everything and then we open it. There's all this space, so we use that space, taking that big breath. And then we take the left hand behind into the center of the mat, fingertips pointing behind. Bit of a gap between the wrist and the buttocks. Press through the left hand to lift the hips. See if you can really press the right foot down, including the big toe, and reach the right hand back. And again, it can be more of a side twist, or by looking up to the ceiling, lifting the chest to the ceiling, it becomes a little bit of a back bend too. Very opening. And then coming down, pressing through the left hand to control yourself as you bring the hips back down, bringing yourself back to face forward. Nice. And then again, we've got the same choice. If you did it on the other side, unless you've got an injury on this side, then probably also flip the leg at this point, but make sure you've got that 90-degree angle. I hope you can see that in my legs here. The angle between the thigh and the other leg doesn't change. 90 degrees, 90 degrees, more or less. Any doubts, stay with Janu Shirshasana. Right hand onto right thigh or shin, or right elbow in front of the knee, holding the big toe. Again, the main objective is the opening, the revolving. So you can even actually use your left hand to pull up the right ribs, press the left ribs back, drop the left shoulder back. So we're looking up to the ceiling, and only then do we extend the left arm up. And only when we can keep the openness of the chest do we start to reach forward. And if we really close down by coming forward, we'll just come back a bit and keep that sense of opening. Breathe. There is an argument for if you're nearly at the foot and you have to close to get the foot to do it, and then you've got the purchase point to help open the chest again. That's only if you're getting very close anyway. Don't force anything. Breathe deeply. Couple more breaths into the intercostal muscles, super opening. And then to come out, again, we look to the floor, we allow that left arm to come down towards the floor, and we're just very mindful as we walk the hands back in and bring ourselves back up. There's quite a lot going on in the spine, and bring yourself out of the leg position. Maybe let's just come to a very centered position after that. So Baddha Konasana. Let's just take a nice symmetrical, what I feel to be a very centering posture. If it's not for you, you could just cross the ankles or come to a kneel. But if it feels good, you can take hold of the outer edges of the feet. You can use the hands behind you to press the hips forward. And just come to stillness once again. So we're holding the outside edges of the feet. We're lifting up through the spine, drawing the shoulders back, drawing the chin in. Or any other variation, kneeling, cross-legged. Take a moment to come back to your center. Maybe drop your awareness into your pelvic bowl, lower belly, your sacrum. Come to stillness. Notice how you feel. Like we did at the start, feeling the totality of your body in space, taking up space in space, and the sensations in your body, from the crown of the head to the fingertips, the tips of the toes. Just feeling yourself as a unified whole, embodied in space. You're really closing the eyes if you haven't already. And then when you're ready, we're going to come down onto our back. So maybe just to come out of here, use your hands to let the knees come up. Maybe you just want to hug the knees for a moment, resting the forehead or the chin on the knees, making yourself very small. And then when you're ready, we're going to come down onto our backs, and we'll just finish with just a few finishing postures, including some gentle twists. So let's just take a back bend. We'll just do one, so make it count. Maybe do some more like 10 breaths than 5 breaths. If you want to take more of a restorative back bend, use a brick under your sacrum on any of its 3 heights. Otherwise, Seti Bandhasana, hands by the side, heels close to the buttocks, hip distance apart. Inhale, lift the hips, draw the shoulders under, maybe interlace the fingers, just press the palms down. And just really focus on quality of breath. See if you can take 10 full, deep, conscious breaths. If you can't take 10, just take as many as you can and come down. Focus on the calmness, the steadiness, the fullness of breath here. You'll feel it in the legs after a while. See if you can breathe through that. Keep pressing down through the heels. Feel like you're squeezing an imaginary block between the thighs, and keep the breath flowing. So you can work very strongly and still breathe in this slow, deep, peaceful, full way. When it's your time to come out and you feel you've taken enough breaths, roll yourself out carefully, consciously from the upper back to the lower back. See if you can place each vertebra down one by one. There'll be a part in the mid back where that will be difficult, but do the best you can until you consciously place the sacrum down. You might need to just lift the shoulders and move them back at that point so the whole of the skin of the back is on the floor, and just take a moment to just drain out any excess energy out through the back, into the earth, through the sacrum, through the back of the head. Take some resting breaths. And then just to do an inversion, we'll just do 10 breaths. If you really want to do a shoulder stand or a headstand, then feel free. But just be aware we're not dedicating a huge amount of time to the inversion this evening. So my invitation would be to take either your hands, just palms down, backs of the hands under the sacrum, lift the legs, or a brick, anything that just elevates the hips slightly, and just simply extend the legs up to the ceiling. This is a very effective, more passive inversion. The legs are still active, either totally flexed, totally pointed, or somewhere in between, but consciously placed. And we just breathe again, the fullness, the quality of breath. At least 10 slow, deep breaths here. Trying to get the legs to as close to vertical as possible. Maybe we need to have a bend in the legs if the hamstrings are tight. And when it's more or less 10 breaths, bringing the feet down, pressing through the feet to lift yourself up off the block. If you used it, bring the hips down. We'll all meet on our backs to finish, and I'd like us to finish with a we've got time for a passive twist. So just one of the classics. So just supine twist, both legs. So just bring the heels to the buttocks again, lift the hips, take the hips over to the left, and allow the knees to come over to the right. You could have a block or a cushion or a blanket between the thighs if you need. We can extend the left arm out in line with the shoulder and maybe rest the right hand on the left thigh. You might also want to put a blanket or something underneath the lower leg. Look over the left shoulder. And as we move towards the end of the class, we're still breathing consciously, but we're allowing the breath to slow down. We're particularly focusing on the exhale part of the breath, releasing. Relax into the shape, relax the jaw, the face, maybe close the eyes. And with your next exhale, just coming back to the center, planting the feet, lifting the hips, scooting them over to the right, allowing the knees to drop over to the left, releasing your right arm out, in line with the right shoulder, looking over that shoulder, Maybe anchoring down the right leg. Use supports as you need between the thighs, underneath the left thigh. Relax the belly and the face and the jaw. And breathe it out. Breathe out the stagnant, the stale, what we don't need anymore, the carbon dioxide and everything else that we're done with. And again, at the end of your exhale, just gently roll back to the center. Pretty much ready for Shavasana, but just before, if you want one last symmetrical posture, just checking you're centrally aligned. You might just want to draw the knees into the chest, or maybe take a happy baby and just find that stillness. You're ready for Shavasana already, just go there now. And when you feel ready, if you're not already there, find your way into Shavasana to finish. Being warm, being centrally aligned. We might just run over by a couple of minutes. I want to make sure we have a good few minutes here. So we've got a couple of minutes until 1:15. If anyone's desperate to leave at 1:15, just be aware. I can let you know it's 1:15. But otherwise, we'll just drop in for a good 3 or 4 minutes here. Just let yourself go. Yourself become heavy. And one more time, just feel that sense of your whole being, this unified totality of your being, and all the sensations, physical, yet also beyond that, energetic, buzzing, tingling, prickling, heat, cool, all through your being. This embodied being taking its space within the rest of space. And then let that go, just release, relax, let the mind go. If you need a longer shavasana, please stay. If you want to close with me, we're just a couple of minutes over. Start to deepen the breath. Move the fingertips and the toes. And gradually, after any stretches you need, just return to seated. Close together. Or stay in shavasana. Those closing with me, maybe just bringing the palms together, expressing gratitude to yourself for choosing to start 2023 in a very positive way on the yoga mat, and your amazing body, and anything else for which you're grateful and want to take forward into this new year. Feel complete in the eyes. Thank you, everybody, for practicing with me. Hope you enjoyed, and see you soon.